What's happening, everybody? It's Wednesday, early afternoon, and I just thought I would share some more live footage with you. This is just from this past weekend at the church. Now there was a ton of work being done there over the last sort of week and a half or so. There was a lot of work being done in the main room. So they were rehanging some of the cluster speakers that we had in the ceilings. And they also did a lot of work on the stage and stuff. So anyways, all of this required that we strike the stage completely. So everything had to come off. So all of the instruments, the mics, the platforms, everything had to be completely stripped off the stage. So that required us to actually use smaller, sort of more compact setups for some recent events in the meantime. So I leave my cocktail kit kind of parked at the church these days for the time being, because every once in a while we'll pull it out for something. But we ended up using it this past weekend in sort of a more intimate setup, like right in the middle of the stage. And it was actually really cool. But I thought, since I don't really get to play this kit too much, you guys really don't get to see me play that cocktail kit much, I thought I would just set up a camera and just record the worship set. And I also thought it might be a cool idea to give you guys maybe some tips, like if you're looking for a cocktail kit or if you have one, maybe this video will give you some ideas and tips on how you can set it up to play it more comfortably. So I have a Yamaha Club Jordan cocktail kit. I've had this thing for years, and I absolutely love it. It's great for situations like this when I feel like playing a little bit more than just a cajon, you know what I mean? So in this particular setup that we had here, everything was kind of business as usual. It just needed to be smaller. So the cocktail kit is perfect for that because it projects just like real drums. I mean, they are real drums. They're just a little bit more compact. So this particular kit is in fact discontinued. They stopped making it quite a while ago. But there's a lot of companies now making cocktail kits that are similar to this. So if you're looking for one, you should be able to find one. So this kit features a 15 by 24 inch floor tom / bass drum. You actually end up playing both heads on it. So top end, of course, with the sticks. And then the bottom, if you've never seen a cocktail kit before, the pedal is set up in a way that it hits this way instead of that way, right? So when you step on the pedal, the beater actually moves up like this and hits the bottom skin. And there's also a 10 by 4 inch tom, and I put a 12 by 4 steel shell Yamaha snare on there, just for versatility. Like a lot of cocktail kits have smaller toms on there, but I knew I could get a nice range out of a 12 inch, and I'll explain in a bit why that's important. So there are mainly two concerns that I have. There's two things that I'm thinking about when I set up and play my cocktail kit. Number one is sound, and number two is comfort and playability. So I want it to sound like actual drums. Like if you were standing outside of the room, I don't really want you to be able to tell the difference between this and a conventional kit setup. So the way I tune it, I have everything tuned as low as they can go to get the fullest sound out of them. So that's the main reason why I went with a 12 inch snare. It's the biggest snare that I could get that actually had a mount on it. And I put a thicker head on there. I have Evans Onyx heads all around it. And the way I have it tuned, I dropped that batter head to the absolute lowest part of the register. Actually, I shouldn't say lowest. It's not quite bottomed out. It's a couple turns above bottomed out because I still want to get a nice crack out of it. And then there's playability. So for me, like when I'm playing this thing, I kind of set it up in a way that it feels familiar. I want it to feel as close to a conventional setup from the torso or from my midsection up, right? So if you take a look at the kit from a side profile, you'll notice that everything is kind of set up like a conventional 4-piece kit. So you got the slightly raised 10-inch tom, You have the floor tom and the snare are pretty much kind of lined up. And then my cymbals are positioned sort of in the same proportion as these are. So that way, the only difference between this and that kit is just the fact that I'm standing up. So I can still play like this, and you know, the crashes are still in familiar spots, and it's just more comfortable to play. So the cymbals I'm using on this setup, there's a 19-inch. I got my 19-inch signature Dark Energy here, and then my 18-inch Dark Energy in front of me, and 14-inch signature Precision hats. So this was fun, man. Like, we were really digging this dynamic, and for me, it was totally nice to finally get out from behind that sneeze guard and around my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you play a little bit, there's a completely different feeling when you're connected with the other people on the stage as opposed to 2 feet up and all the way off to the right. So yeah, cocktail kits are cool, man. I love playing this thing. The only thing that you really have to get used to doing when you're playing one of these, you got to learn how to stand when you're playing these, because it's not just a matter of standing behind it and playing it, because your weight is constantly shifting over to one side, right? So you just have to sort of learn how to stand, and you got to keep moving around, or you should try to move around as often as you can. So whenever you get a break, you know, just take a step. Take advantage of the fact that you get to stand up, because it's a whole different thing. So yeah, whatever opportunities you get between every song, make sure you move around. If there's breaks in the song, and even if you got a couple of bars where you're not playing, just shift around, move around, keep everything nice and loose so your hip doesn't lock up. So enjoy this footage, man. Like, if worship music is not your thing, that's cool. Feel free to give a thumbs up to any one of my other videos. But for the rest of y'all, all my other church drummers out there, enjoy this.